This is...
So, yeah, we get an item out of defeating that boss, like always. Almost forgot about this. I was just going to sell some stuff, and then I saw the cutscene and I was like, oh, I have to start recording now. So with that, we can buy the Dragon Belts. Yeah, I thought so. It gives you the ability to use Dragon Cry, which is a pretty good skill, so nice accessory. Yeah, that's terrifying. So yeah, the first time I saw that, when I got to this point in the game on my first playthrough, that did actually freak me out a little bit. Yeah, blame Australia's school system for teaching kids to be scared of spiders. For very good reason. But anyway, welcome back to Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Last time, we found out some pretty big things. So, we fought Rei's Shadow and found out the truth about her and found that she has been taken away to the clock tower by the shadows of this place because they don't want this place to disappear. It's pretty much exactly the plot of Link's Awakening when you think about it. So, we have them to deal with. But before we do that, I think we need to get a bit stronger in order to save Rei. And for that, we're gonna need Margaret's help. Don't mind Naoto being in the party here. I was just using Naoto to grind you up to level 55, and whereupon he learned Raijin-san. So, when both the P3 and P4 protagonists are at least level 55, you unlock a special side quest. And that's what we'll be taking on right now. There's no definitive time frame for this, they just both have to reach level 55, so you can theoretically get this a lot earlier in the game if you really like grinding, and if you're not on hard mode, you probably will have got this earlier in the game, making the Rei's Shadow fight a lot easier, but because I'm on hard mode, experience is reduced to 80% of normal, it comes a lot later.
What do you think of this hypothesis?
I cannot say that it's impossible. I believe it's worth testing.
I see. Then I'll put in a request. When our guest arrives, you should casually mention it to him. And be sure to keep that part hidden from him.
I understand.
Too late, we've already overheard. Hi there.
An intruder! Guards! Bring out the guards!
I love Elizabeth.
There's no such intruder here.
Cancel that! Guards, retreat! Retreat!
I still love Elizabeth.
Oh dear. But you came at just the right time. I have news for you. I have just filed a request. Its nature is for you to have a bout with me.
So, finally we get to fight Margaret.
It may seem like a harsh request, but the reward will be correspondingly sweet.
Oh, it is. It really, really is.
If you have time. Or even if you don't. I recommend you accept it.
I recommend you follow Margaret's advice here. You want to do this as soon as possible.
Well then.
The power of the wild card. Oh, shame Elizabeth doesn't have any. In any case, what would you like to do?
Are you sure? This request was made by my sister. I will go fetch her at once. Please wait a moment.
She was just here. I can just imagine Margaret just on her way back to the Velvet Room and then Elizabeth just comes out and says, oh, wait a minute, yeah, you're needed back here.
Ah, so you accepted my request? I wish for you to fight me. But I'm not asking for any old fight. You and the other with the power of the wild card, I ask that only the two of you come.
So, it's a P3, P4 MC duo run. No other party members allowed.
The reason for that is a surprise.
Well, that just makes me even more nervous.
Elizabeth, find suitable battleground for us.
Understood. I happen to know the perfect place already. The details of the location are... May I borrow your map for a moment? Thank you. You may have it back now.
Yes, this is indeed you in Wonderland. Remember that one room from the 3rd floor that never really served any purpose until now? Yep, that's where we find her.
I'd use disappearing ink. It's very eco-friendly. Please note it down for yourself later.
Well then, we'll use that location. Once more, be sure that only you and the other with the power of the wild card attend.
A lineup of 2 with the same power.
Since it will be only the 2 of you, prepare yourself well before coming, and do try to make this worth my while. Well then, I'll be waiting for you.
Like I said earlier, I forgot to heal. I'll accept that Festival Dude's request later. Oh, look at Kanji and Ken talking. There's a lot of neat little nods to earlier character development in these base scenes. And yeah, it fits that everyone would start finally having character development now, because we found out Zen is Kronos and now time has started flowing again for real. The characters were kind of locked in stasis beforehand. I did just level up my P3 protagonist, so I might be able to fuse something new. Let me just quickly check. Oh, Cybele and Orphanium, who both of which I already have, thanks to getting really lucky with accidents and skill cards earlier. Now, I have heard that Cybele learns a unique navigator skill. It's like a better version of Hunting Prayer, and it can't be passed down. Oh, I can make you out of my navigator persona, but I can only pass down 3 skills. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because I really want Renewal, Aura, Cornucopia, Calming Lull, and Snake Glare. And yeah, I'm fusing... Oh, you have no inheritable skills at all. Huh. That's probably why. But we can make Siegfried too. Immunity buffer is pretty nice. Unfortunately, that also uses my navigator persona. I think I'll make those personas later on, though I will need Nebiros for something. In fact, are we at the right level to fuse that persona? Because if we are, that'd be really fitting considering the labyrinth that we're going to be backtracking to. Yes, we are in fact at the right level for that persona. Okay then, slight change of plans. Level 58 is exactly the right level. Oh boy though, I'm gonna have to grind some money and get back a lot of personas because I really like Black Frost. And you. And you. How about Binding Hand, Circle Recovery, Lethargy Circle, and Mataru Kaja, I guess? I've been passing down Mataru Kaja a lot lately. Oh, was I dumb again and forgot to register some personas to the compendium? Oh well, might as well register Mother Harlot while I'm here. Okay, I'm actually gonna go and grind some items off of power spots. I'll see you back here later. Okay, I bought back Black Frost and Kuhulan. There's one more persona that I need to get out of the compendium, and I actually might not buy back Black Rider for now, because I passed down a lot of his good skills to Nebiros. Because, are you in Devil? I think you're in Devil, actually. Yes, you are, Belial. Because we have another secret fusion that we can do. Now we've reached level 58. So, Nebiros and Belial, you can see it's highlighted in pink there, make Alice. So this combination won't make a lot of sense to you unless you're familiar with Shin Megami Tensei, but there, Nebiros and Belial were kind of Alice's 2 surrogate uncles. And in many games, this is the fusion combination to make Alice. So, right, what to pass down here? Impure Reach combos with Evil Smile, but Alice does eventually learn Mind Charge, and that could work well with Argidyne. Binding Hands will work well as well, because Alice also learns Salome's Kiss, which might mean that I have to replace Mother Harlot soon. I kind of like Impure Reach, but also Mataru Kaja's not. I have a lot of things with Mataru Kaja, though. So maybe I'll go with Impure Reach. I don't actually have Impure Reach passed down to a lot of things. Also, Impure Reach will buff die for me. And so we have Alice now. Alice in this game is kind of interesting. She gives a very large SP modifier and has the skill card for Mind Charge, which can help, but magic's unfortunately not great in this game. I did say before, but she learns Salome's Kiss, so passing down Binding Hands can be really useful. Evil Smile can be decent against certain enemies, but other status ailments are usually better. She also naturally starts with Megadola, and eventually learns Null Curse and Null Magic Bind, neither of which are that great, but I guess Magic Bind does block things like Power Charge in this game. So, the main draw of Alice in most other games in the series is Die For Me, a darkness-based attack with a very high chance of instant death to all enemies. Now, normally, Die For Me is an amazing skill, and in this game, it's still an amazing skill. The problem is that regular Hammer and Mudor are so good, there's really no need for it. They do pretty much the exact same thing for less than half the SP cost. So, Die For Me is basically overkill. It manages to be useless in a weird way that I don't often see in a lot of RPGs. Like I said, it's technically a great skill, it's just that instant death is so broken in this game that the lower tier instant death spells are just as good for a fraction of the cost. So anyway, now that that's done, I can go ahead and arrange my party for this, which is going to be a pretty obvious combination, just the P3 protagonist and Yu Narukami. You can choose to put one of them in the back row and one in the front row if you want. For support, I think I'll leave it on Rise because it makes sense for her to be navigating the Margaret fight. I'll switch back to Fuuka next because I've given Rise a lot of screen time lately. In terms of equipment and personas, you definitely want some form of resistance to your character's weaknesses here. Fortunately, Margaret doesn't use Mudor, but she does use all 4 magical elements, so putting some kind of electricity resistance on the P3 protagonist and wind resistance on the P4 protagonist, definitely a good idea. I don't think I have a pin that reduces wind damage. I might want to actually check storage to see if I do have something like that. Nope, I only have the ice pin and the dark pin. I suppose I can give these two their bind weapons. There's not really all that much that they need updated in terms of equipment. And now personas. Well, I kind of want to try out Alice, and you know, we're going into You in Wonderland, so that makes sense. Meanwhile, I'm kind of tempted to give him Mother Harlot, actually. But there is also Myriad Arrows. Now, this boss fight, Margaret doesn't have a lot of HP at all. In fact, First Star would probably be better on... yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with this. Wait a minute, no, you take Mother Harlot. Because of the Absorber Lek. And you take Alice. Right, that makes sense. And that means I'll need to change your equipment, because obviously the Volt Pin is useless when I absorb electricity anyway. And I think that's pretty good. In terms of items, making sure you have a lot of revivals is good. Healing skill cards on either protagonist is also really helpful. So, let's go ahead and head back to where it all began, You in Wonderland. Yeah, now the rabbit motifs of this place make a lot more sense. How we have a convenient save point right here, so we may as well take it.
There's 3 of them, but they aren't that scary.
Shake, boy. Huh, guess it doesn't work with beasts.
Never heard him say that before. Yeah, I guess I don't really have many of the P4 party's reactions to the first Labyrinth enemies because we didn't have them at the time. But anyway, now it's time to head in here and fight Margaret.
This must be the room Margaret specified. It seems Margaret is already here. Her battle strength is off the charts.
It's almost like she's basically a god or something.
I'm sensing something really dangerous about this. I didn't know she was this strong. What should we do?
I love that synchronized nod.
welcome. This is the first time we're meeting within the labyrinth. Have you come fully prepared?
Yeah, we're ready. But there's one thing I want to ask. Why did you specify just us two?
Well, to be frank, I was merely curious.
What?
You both have the same power of the wild card. This power is signified by the number 0. It represents the beginning and the potential that it holds. I wanted to personally experience the uncertain possibilities which you both possess. That is the reason I called you two here. So, did I explain myself well enough?
You at least made it clear that you won't go easy on us.
That will do.
If that's the case, then we'll put all our might into it too. Right, leader?
And here you can make a fun callback to an event in the 3rd dungeon.
So that's why you've kept it hidden all this time.
Gary Stu is going to draw on the ultimate power of his brand.
You're confident enough in yourself to make light, then? Now, let's have some fun. The duet of the wild cards begins. What can I expect from this beautiful harmony, I wonder? Dazzle me with your performance.
Do your best!
So, here is Margaret. To compensate for there only being 2 characters in this fight, she does not have a lot of HP at all. So, yeah, compared to the boss of the last labyrinth, this shouldn't be too bad. Right, what to do here? She is vulnerable to panic and poison. I guess I could try and go for poison, but I might want to set up buffs as well. And, I suppose you can just try out your new Raijin-san. And she attacks you with cards. Completely fails at it. Yeah, not a lot of health down on her just yet. I want to try and get poison active. And there's poison. That's gonna help. Oh, Vorpal Blade. Okay then. Yeah, thankfully that's nowhere near as bad as it was in Persona 3, where it did ridiculous damage to all enemies and got a boost if you're in great condition. Yeah, Margaret takes quite a lot from poison, like most bosses, so this really shouldn't be that bad. I can try and get her with Decay Circle as well, because Vorpal Blade is easily her most dangerous attack. You know what? I'm going to use my Navigator to heal this turn, because I don't trust... Yu was going after Margaret there. I don't really trust his speed at this point. So, I guess there's really nothing left for us to do but just spam attacks, really. Doesn't have enough HP to do that, so I guess I'll go for a Zeodyne. So every one of the Velroom attendants has a gimmick as to the personas that they use. Elizabeth's personas draw from a wide variety of mythologies, but she has quite a few Norse ones. Theodore's personas in games where he's fought are almost entirely biblical, whereas Margaret's...
This is marvelous. I can feel the fires within being stoked. More. Show me more.
Gets very excited when you fight her. No, Margaret's, her gimmick, her persona gimmick is basically Bishonen. That's why her title in the arena games is the sadistic stud-keeping secretary. So she just used Siegfried there. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing another persona from her this turn because, yeah, she is bound.
What is this feeling of satisfaction? Still, no matter how beautiful a harmony may be, it becomes insipid with repetition. The time has come for modulation. See if you can withstand it.
The time has come for a barrage of music puns. Yeah, she is going down fairly quickly. Let's see. I should just to be safe, I'm going to meet Medea Rafa. You do only have 2 party members here, so you do need to be careful. It's easy to get a game over if you're not careful. And yeah, all of her binds are gone except agility. Well, yeah, that's probably just the way I like it for this, because it means that I actually get a chance for her to show some of her personas. I forget if she follows a set order with her moves or not, like she does in Persona 4.
Take this. Tsunagi.
Nice double wildcard crit there.
Be prepared.
Black Frost. Actually, that makes a lot of sense given the Black Frost story she told in the anime. I still love that. Yeah, like at the start of most episodes of the... that's actually not good. I'm gonna Medea with you just to make absolutely sure that I can get your Medea Rahan off, because, like I said, she's kind of outspeeding you at this point. Except when she isn't. Oh, because I'm dumb. She's agility bound. Of course she's going last. And there's Megadola. Automatic knockdown doesn't really mean much when it's the end of the turn anyway. She is hitting a lot through the agility bind. I might want to start using some actual... I don't know, let's see. I think our buff's worn off at this point. Yeah, physical moves are pretty dangerous because it means that you're lowering your own HP. I do still have the Scapegoat though.
Go, Izanagi.
Poison makes quick work of this fight though if you have someone with that. And there's Vorpal Blade again.
If my theory is correct, it should be time soon. Now then.
Show me what lies beyond the harmony. Show me your true potential.
Fights are some of the few times that Margaret shows real emotion in this game. Anyway, well, it's near the end. I might as well go for a Salone's Kiss. But yeah, I was saying that before most episodes of the anime, there's a Velvet Room scene where Margaret explains the general premise of the episode. Except that one time where, I forget which one it is, I think it's one of the Summer Vacation episodes, where she tells a story about Black Frost. I think it's the same story that she told in the Persona 4 game. But she goes on this really heartfelt story about him just wanting friends and something like that. And then she... Well, I don't want to spoil it. It's weird, but hilarious in that way. Just like the Velvet Room attendants. That's probably one of my favorite episode openings in that. Okay. You are no longer agility bound, but I'm boosted on both my characters, so yeah, I don't really care. At this point, let's just go for a Medea Rahan again. As long as you're careful, this fight is really not that bad. And if you're experienced with solo character runs, it probably isn't that bad at all. It's probably just what you're used to. She should be down very, very soon. So let's just spam a few attacks. I've noticed the protagonist's physical attacks, like elemental attacks they learn, are really strong.
This is it.
And that's it. That's the fight over.
Have you noticed anything different? A change has occurred in you two. Look deep, and you will find your new potential. It seems my theory was proven correct.
This is our ultimate reward.
Hey, is that your persona?
For completing this side quest. We get our ultimate personas on the two main characters, and with that, they unlock their ultimate skills. For being reborn into Messiah, Orpheus gains the skill Debilitate. Now, Debilitate in this game is kind of ridiculous. If you know it from the main series, it inflicts all three debuffs, Strength, Agility, and Defense, on a single target. So that alone makes it extremely good, and basically the ultimate FOE killing move. But, in Persona Q, it's even better than it is in the main games. Because, one, it counts as its own debuff, which means that it stacks with other debuffs. Also, it's an even bigger effect than the standard debuffs. Regular Under debuffs are a 20% debuff to a stat, Debilitate is a 33% debuff. Once you have Messiah, FOEs suddenly become much, much easier.
Izanagi no Okami. So this is my potential.
And so, Yu Narukami gains his ultimate persona, Izanagi no Okami, and gains resistance to everything except light and immunity to dark, whereas Messiah is still weak to dark. Yeah, he kind of got the short end of the stick when it comes to resistances. However, Izanagi no Okami's special skill is Heat Riser. This obeys the same laws as Debilitate. It buffs all 3 stats on one target, and it's its own individual buff, which means it stacks with buffs like Tarukaja. It's also a 33% stat increase instead of a 20% increase. So stack this, Tarukaja, and Power Charge on Shura Tensei or Gear Mode Aegis and use Myriad Arrows against an enemy that's been Raku-Undered and debilitated? Yeah, magic happens.
What is this?
Man has infinite potential. The power that has awakened within you two is one such expression. Normally, you should be grasping new possibilities, guided by fate for yourselves. But I couldn't wait for that. There is something that you must do here after all.
In other words, normally we'd get these ultimate personas much later in our main games, but we're skipping all that because we need some excuse to use them in this game.
That is why I pondered if it would be possible to forcefully coax it out.
Is that possible in the main games as well? Because that would have been pretty great. Izanagi no Okami is kind of pathetic back in Persona 4 because you can only fuse it on a New Game Plus, it's level 91, and you can't register him to the compendium. So yeah, you get like 1 week of using him and that's pretty much it.
That's why you asked us to fight you.
When man is driven to desperation, he becomes a completely different person than usual. There is power that arises in you when you face death directly.
Which is pretty much what the Evokers are designed for.
Why did you specify just us two?
The power of the wild card can be said to be like the number 0, and you must know already. When 2 zeros come together, they form the symbol infinity, which signifies the limitless or immeasurable.
Welcome to Velvet Room Attendant Logic. Yeah, that doesn't exactly make sense, but
I decided to take a chance on your infinite potential. And as one who presides over power, I wish to pit my power against yours.
Pit your power against ours? Weren't you intending to kill us during the battle?
Any other questions? Any questions?
None.
Good. I'm glad we've come to this understanding. There is one other reason why I only called you two here, but it needs to be explained to your companions as well. We'll continue this in the Velvet Room. Please follow me.
and yeah, no real reason to stay in UN Wonderland.
And so, these two have awakened to a new possibility. Do you understand thus far?
Basically they've gotten stronger?
If by stronger you mean completely game-breaking, then yes.
You're free to think of it that way.
Huh. They don't look like they've changed at all.
Don't worry, I understand. Okay, I'm challenging you right here, right now. Fight me!
Given how good you are stat-wise in this game, I disagree.
Well, please let me join in too.
Come on, this is only for the ones with the power of the wild card, right?
What are you talking about? I haven't arrived at my main subject yet.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if this is a phenomenon unique to this world or not, but it seems the power of the wild card intervenes with others. Its effects will extend to your friends as well. Just as you all became capable of taking on another persona, this new phenomenon will most likely follow suit.
So does this mean we might also awaken to this new possibility?
Yes, that is correct.
Really? Does that mean I'll reach another level of adorability?
New possibility, huh? That's something to look forward to, right, Shinji? Hey, Shinji, are you listening?
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like anything's really changed.
Fertile land is needed for a seed to sprout, no? First, you must become strong enough to master this new possibility.
Right!
So what she's saying is that now, when any of the other party members reach level 55, their persona will evolve and they'll gain their ultimate skill. I'll be covering what these are when we get them, on a case-by-case basis, because some of them are amazing and others are, well, there are a few that are extremely terrible.
Well, that sums up the request and my explanation. What do you think? Was it worth the effort?
Yes.
Yeah, it was worth fighting you.
Did you find the fight itself worth your while? I hope to hold back less when fighting you next time.
Oh, trust me, she will.
Well then, please come to the nurse's office later. I'll give you the reward. Until then, farewell.
There's one more thing left to cover here, though.
Was there something else?
About what you said, isn't there any way that I can keep my persona like it is?
It seems Koromaru-san was thinking about asking the same.
Does this mean that you don't wish to change?
Yeah.
May I ask why? Did you hear my question?
After Koromaru-san's owner died, he protected the shrine where they lived together. Koromaru-san's persona emerged when that shrine was attacked by a shadow. He uses his persona to protect the house where he lived with his owner. It seems that is why Koromaru-san wishes to remain the way he is, so that he never forgets his failure to protect his owner on that day.
I see. Despite your fluffy exterior, you're quite manly on the inside.
It's similar for me. I don't want to forget what I did, what I had done, and so that he doesn't lose his way either.
Everyone has their own cross to bear, don't they? If you wish to know whether it's impossible or possible to maintain your current persona, then it's possible. The armor of your heart reacts to your feelings. If you strongly wish not to change, then you will not change.
I see. Okay. Hey, about what I just said.
Keep it a secret from the others, correct? It must be tough being the eldest.
Thanks. But I ain't that old, you know.
So what that means is that Shinjiro and Koromaru, basically that's a convenient cover for the fact that Shinjiro and Koromaru did not have upgraded personas in Persona 3, so they don't have to create any new persona designs for new Ultimate Personas here. Functionally though, they still get an upgrade upon hitting level 55. I like to call these Super Castor and Super Cerberus. It's pretty much the exact same as the rest of the party members, they just still keep their initial personas. But anyway, let's go ahead and report the request.
Could it be? The gleam on your face, the confidence bursting from within, lips trembling in excitement, your clenched fists.
Otherwise known as Garisu when he's about to ask someone on a date.
Could it be that you're finally going to open a takoyaki shop?
Unfortunately for you, no.
That was my attempt at coming up with a theory, like my sister. Well then, does this mean that you've awakened to new personas?
Yeah, she knew all
I shall
along.
go fetch my sister. Please, wait a moment.
My theory was proven true. You've attained new powers. It was a wonderful experience for me as well. Thank you. This is a token of my gratitude.
Then we get the key item Adama's Steel.
So, sister, what did you think of the harmony generated by two users of the wild card?
It was pleasant, yet dissonant at the same time. Were I to compare it to a classical score, at one moment, it felt like lightning shocking me. Yet that changed into an icy melody in the next measure.
Lightning makes sense, but isn't the P3 protagonist fire-based?
Just when it felt like a gentle, windy tune, it then crescendoed into a passionate, burning flame.
So you just go with all the elements then?
It was like the famous piece known as Destiny Sympathy. Ah.
Like the Destiny Sympathy, you say?
The Destiny Symphony? I've never heard of such a piece.
Oh, okay, that's an actual Beethoven symphony.
Nor have I.
Well then, I should be getting back. I'll see you again at the Velvet Room.
And a pointless nav- Actually, no, it's not pointless.
I'll keep working hard.
Because navigators can evolve their personas too. I didn't think we'd be seeing another one of these in this part.
Persona. Juno.
Lucia's persona becomes Juno, Roman goddess and the wife of Jupiter. And she gets her special skill, Oracle. Oracle, thankfully, is a lot better than it was in Persona 3. It no longer has a chance to give any negative effects. In this game, the potential effects are get 50% more experience from battle, full HP restore and remove ailments, greatly raise attack and defense for one turn, or Matarukaja or Marakukaja. So yeah, all of them good things, no possibility for reducing your HP to 1 like in Persona 3, so a great skill all round. Rise is not quite at the point of upgrading just yet, but she will be at a few levels. And for the rest of the party, well, they'll probably be hitting that threshold during our foray into the Clock Tower. They're not quite up there just yet. And I'll talk about all of their upgraded personas once we upgrade them.